Good morning, everyone. I hope your morning is off to a good start, and I thank you for spending a few minutes listening to my reflection. My name is Norm Malmon. Several articles in the Idea Lab section of the Sunday, August 30th, 2020 Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel have influenced my period of reflection and introspection. The front page featured a lengthy and well-written piece by a Marine veteran who lamented the police decision to shoot Jacob Blake. He explained that before they undertake an action, Marines are taught to stop, investigate, and evaluate. He shared the experience he encountered late in the night of a 12-hour security post. The day had started with sweltering sun. He was now wilted and tired, and his thinking was probably less than clear. Suddenly, a series of vehicles approached his checkpoint. One was driven by a man who did not speak English. Part of this man's paperwork was not in order. In addition, his truck was old, rickety, and poorly maintained. Suspicions were raised. Guards became tense, and the driver was asked to step out of his vehicle. He did as ordered, but just then the vehicle's parking brake failed and it lurched forward. With this, every Marine raised their rifle and pointed them at the driver's chest. Shaking, he found just enough strength to raise his hands high. Tensions eased as the driver did so. An investigation ensued. The missing information in his documents was obtained, and the driver was sent safely on his way. A potentially fatal encounter was avoided because these Marines took the time to think before acting. The Marine concluded his article by saying, "The 6 Marines ultimately all decided that the driver of a large truck located in a war-torn country where we could awaken to rocket attacks and the sound of gunfire was not a threat." Still, the Marine continued, somehow a police officer in Kenosha thought a man bending into a vehicle was such a threat that he deserved to be shot multiple times in the back, as his small children sat in the back seat. Other writers in the idea section reflected on the Blake shooting and concluded, "We are better than this, and enough is enough." My theme for this morning, and for myself this season, is to stop, investigate, and reflect before acting or speaking. To work harder to follow the process I've learned is fundamental in U.S. Marine training. If successful, perhaps I too can avoid a tragic outcome. How does this relate to the world we're living in my personal quest to improve some of my character weaknesses? And what can I use for inspiration and example? Jimmy Carter famously talked about having lust in his heart. He has shared the shame he feels for having those thoughts. But in reality, no one was hurt by those thoughts because he stopped, investigated the risk, evaluated the potential benefit of acting on his impulses, and decided to refrain. I'm reflecting on the too many times I've spoken or acted on impulse and without considering the consequences, and how many of those times resulted in pain or loss. I've been reading many books on race relations and studying the book This Is Real and You Are Completely Unprepared with Susan Cosden in preparation for the holidays. I've learned that acting impulsively can lead directly to pain and loss of relationships and loss of self-respect, pain to others, and pain in myself because I was the cause of their pain. I've also been introduced to the concept that history is not the same stories repeating themselves at different times, but in reality that history is new, but that we keep repeating the same mistakes over and over again as we react to it. This year, I am working to create more pause signs and even stop signs so that I don't make the same mistakes as in the past when new scenarios arise. I don't know about you, but I prefer the type of traffic signals that have a yellow light in both directions. That is one that tells me when it is time to slow down and prepare to stop, and one that also alerts me that it's okay to get ready to proceed as planned, but in a more thoughtful manner. In the coming year, I hope to be more often act like the Marine who wrote, and when encountering a stranger, hearing something that puts me on guard, or being in a situation that presses my buttons, will try to stop, investigate the facts, and reflect before speaking or acting. By doing so, I hope to avoid repeating my mistakes and spare others from pain. This takes practice. I know I will fail from time to time, but I am glad I began preparing early. I can be better than I've been. May it be a good year, and may you learn from your personal history.